Emotion regulation is part of emotional intelligence. It's knowing how to manage your own emotions. We've been talking about that here, and today I'm going to share with you guys strategy 3 and 4 out of 5 ways that you can help your kids regulate their emotions. Number 3 is identifying thoughts, 4 is filtering those thoughts, and 5, well, we'll get to that in a later video. If you've missed the other ones, head on back through my feed a couple posts back and you will see explain the brain, and number 2 is name emotions. Today I'm going to be telling you guys lots of tips on how to filter your thoughts. We're also going to be talking about how to distinguish thoughts from feelings, so stick with me to the end. Let's dive in. Our thoughts are so incredibly important. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 23:7 that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Norman Vincent Peale says, change your thoughts and change the world. There's so much power, and we want to teach this to our children. It is crucial for their emotional intelligence. Let me tell you, as a CBT therapist, a cognitive behavior therapist, I am so passionate about this area, and I will really try and not be long-winded because there's a lot I can say and a lot more I will say in the future. First of all, you might be thinking, do kids even know what thoughts are? Yes, studies show that children as early as 3 or 4 already start with a private speech that is vocalized out loud, especially when they are involved in a challenging task. So they will be talking through what they are doing. What happens is when kids get older, they start to internalize that speech, and it becomes known as inner self-talk, or from a CBT therapist perspective, automatic thoughts. As children are developing at ages 2 to 4, language is helping them drive their thought processes, and thinking out loud helps them with their behavior. Some studies show that children as young as 3 or 4 understand that both beliefs and desires determine their behavior. So then as kids get a little bit older, ages 4 to 5, preschoolers begin to realize that their thinking and feelings are actually interconnected. So feelings, focusing on negative thoughts such as, oh, I broke my arm and now I have to wear this cast and it's itchy and I can't play properly, are going to make them feel worse about their situation. But thoughts, more positive, rational thoughts such as, but now I have this cool cast that my friends can draw on, can elicit more positive feelings. And then kids around the age 7 to 8 actually start to realize that 2 people are likely to interpret the same event quite differently. And this is a huge asset for helping to explain to kids what the cognitive model is in cognitive behavior therapy. First of all, what is the difference between thoughts and feelings? Feelings are typically one word. Happy, sad, disgusted, scared, angry, jealous. Now you can have multiple feelings at the same time, but they are one word. Thoughts, on the other hand, are ideas expressed in several or more words. We want our kids to be able to separate these two so that they can understand, remember the hand model of the brain, that their feelings especially come from their emotional center, their amygdala area, while thoughts are engaged more here in the frontal lobe area. We can teach kids that initially we might be triggered about some event, something from our external world or internally too, but our thoughts is what can make us feel better or worse. So thoughts cause emotions and they cause behavior. Some tips on how to encourage your children to stop and think more about their thoughts is just to periodically ask them, what are you thinking about? What are you imagining right now? You can even model this behavior for them and use yourself to explain things that you might be thinking about or processing. Now let's get to step number 4. Filtering thoughts is a task that is difficult for most adults as well. So if we can start teaching this to our kids sooner and earlier, then it can be a wonderful preventative measure. Studies show that kids as young as 3 or 4 start to distinguish the difference between truthfulness and lying. This is another excellent piece because if we know that they're capable of this, then we can also teach them that things that they tell themselves can not necessarily be true. There can be varying degrees of truth. So we can say, when the child says, this is really hard, I can't handle it. Well, it might be hard. There's some truth in that. It might be hard, but you can handle it. helping them to filter their thinking so that they can see that there are varying degrees of truthfulness, and sometimes they're just purely lies. When we are helping our kids filter their thoughts, it's crucial, especially for young kids, to help them distinguish if it's true or helpful. These are the two. If you walk away with nothing else but just two things, asking your child, is it true, is it helpful, will help determine the accuracy of their thoughts. Remember, what you think is what you become. So we want to highlight this part for our kids. I've created a mnemonic tool to help filter thoughts to determine whether they are true and accurate. It's called the truth filter. It asks T, is your thought tested? Do you have proof that it really is true? R, is it rational? Does it make sense? Or is there another way to look at the situation? U, is it useful? Does it help you with your goals? Does it help to encourage yourself or others? T, is it true? If it is true, if my thought is true, how can I cope? This is especially important for young kids when they have true but distressing thoughts, things that they're worried about, things that they're not sure if it's going to come true or not. And finally, H, is it helpful? Is this going to help reduce my intense emotions, or is it going to make me feel worse? You can download this thought filter for free on my website. Link is in the bio or down in the comments section below. And stay tuned, sign up for my newsletter if you want the kids version. That will be coming pretty soon. One of the questions that came up during our Child Wellness Week is a parent who was wondering, what do I do with my child who has consistent self-defeating, self-deprecating thoughts? Well, Kristen Jensen and her team at Protect Young Minds has a beautiful resiliency program where they send you emails to help you with some of this coaching. I really like their growth mindset chart. You can download it for free off their website. I will also put a link down below. And these phrases can really help your child with their self-defeating thoughts. The best part about all of this is you can include your children in this process. Let them help be detectives in identifying and evaluating whether or not their thoughts are true or helpful. Here is the truth filter, just in case you guys wanted to take a peek at that. This is available for a free download. Remember, with young kids though, you just want to stick with, is my thought true or is it helpful? Don't forget just how important your thoughts are, how much they influence your feelings and behavior. Get your kids excited about this process with you. Talk about your thoughts, model for them. Remember, kids are watching and they're picking up on so much more than you realize. And we hope this is helpful as you work towards better emotional regulation.